Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ori Spado. Welcome to another episode of Stories with the Accidental Gangster. Folks, today I have a very special guest. Her name is Sheena Ray. She comes from Israel to Los Angeles, California. I just met her yesterday, and I don't know much about her. Except I do know she was an actress, a comedian, and a model in Israel. But now she has changed, and she's in the motivation world. So we're going to have a great conversation about motivation, about who Napoleon Hill was, and other people. Good afternoon, Sheena. Welcome to my show.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited to be here. I'm in America already for more than 10 years. So
More than 10 years?
yeah. So I'm already here for a while. I've
So
changed.
you got here when I got out of prison.
See? Yeah, we were speaking about prison and criminals, and yesterday we have a common denominator. I
Yes.
write about it in my book. I have 2 chapters in my book about crime families. And it was nice talking to you yesterday.
My pleasure. Tell the guests a little bit about you. Tell my people about you, where you were born, how you ended up here in Los Angeles, and what you do.
Okay. So I born in Tel Aviv. I'm a real Tel Avivian. So I born and raised in Tel Aviv city, which is like free spirit, amazing, next to the beach. And I came to Los Angeles actually after I had a great career in Israel, as you said, as an actress and a model. But I was injured in a terror attack.
You were injured?
Yeah, 20 years ago. It's considered a minor injury because it's armed my left arm. But the second time, when I was a mother taking my son to school, we were going out of the house. And my son said, "Mom, look at this guy. He's got a knife in his hand and blood." And I thought, he's just a 6-year-old kid. He doesn't know what he's talking about. As soon as I lift my head, I saw this guy coming towards us with a bloody hand with a knife. And when you live in Israel, unfortunately, the incident like that, it's something that could happen any minute, everywhere. So I was like, having my post-trauma already exists, and it's kind of hit me. And I said, you know what? I don't want to stay here. I love my country. I respect my country, but I can't live on an anxiety automatic mode all the time, 24/7. So some people would call me coward, but I just needed my peace of mind. So I left. And also I had a dream my whole life to be an American. I grew up on American cinema, history,
Yeah.
So it was a dream, a little girl from the Middle East. For me to come to America, it was amazing and fascinating. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I just got divorced, and I came with a little kid to America by myself with $3,000. I left everything behind. I was in a bad divorce battle. I didn't take nothing from my ex-husband, just decided to come here with whatever I can take from the bank because we were in a divorce battle, and just landed and gave up everything to come
So
here.
you came here with basically the shirt on your back, as we say.
As what? Sorry?
Or only the shirt on your back, and
Yes.
you had a child. And how
With
old
a
was
child.
the child then?
My child was, I think, around 6 or 7. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's really awesome that, somebody comes from another country and gives up everything. So what was your path to citizenship like in this country? Are you a citizen?
I'm a resident.
You're a resident.
I'm going to be a citizen in a few weeks. Yes.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
really awesome.
I'm so excited. It's a dream come true.
You
I
did
couldn't
all this
believe
in
it.
10 years?
I'm here, let's say I'm here 15 years, but I took a break. I went back and yeah. So I came here for a little bit by myself. Then I went back. Then I came back again. And then now I'm here without leaving for 13 years.
Well, let me be one of the first to, congratulate you on becoming a citizen of our country and that you think so much of it.
I'm honored.
Okay.
I think Americans in general don't appreciate what it is to be American and what it is to live in America. They don't understand it. Everybody here always complain, and it's weird to me because even when I see a homeless on the street, I'm like, he's homeless, but he's got a social security. I had to work so hard for my social security. So why to complain? You have a social security. Just get up and...
You know, sadly to say that I am one of those people that do complain about what's going on in this country today. And, you know, it's probably because I grew up at a different time in
Yes.
this country. I seen it differently. I'd never seen nothing like what's going on. Actually, nobody has ever seen it.
Of
Okay,
course.
no matter what their lifetime is, what's going on right now, and
Yeah.
it's really terrible. And but we're strong, and we'll survive it and come out of it like we always do.
Yeah. That's what
Uh,
I'm praying.
but the thing is, we got to keep people happy. We got to make this world a better place.
Exactly.
And you're into motivation.
Yes.
And, you know, I like to share my story. I've always been into motivation. Since I was 12 years old, I've been hustling.
Okay.
Never stopped. I went broke several times in my life, but I always come back. And one time when 1971, I left California. I came to California. I had to leave because I owed the bank millions of dollars back east. And I had to get a job. And I was always in the insurance business in those days. But I didn't have time to write an insurance policy and wait 30, 60 days before my commission because I had a wife and kids. I had to put food on the table. And I ran into a guy in a diner and tells me about a guy named W. Clement Stone, who owned a combined group of insurance companies out of Chicago, and how I can make $100 a day and stick it right in my pocket. He introduced me to the manager, who sent me to Boston for 2 weeks for school. When I arrived in Boston, the first thing they gave us was a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I know this book. I read it 20
read
years
it,
ago.
right?
Yes.
When I read that book, when I read it for the first time, I said, oh my God, this guy put names and title to things that I've been doing all my life and
Wow.
selling, because I was a great salesperson. And W. Clement Stone was one of the biggest supporters of Napoleon Hill. And W. Clement Stone also wrote a couple books. The Success System That Never Failed is one of them. You could look them up. But, you know, that's enough about me. How did you get into it?
Well, I think we have kind of a similar story because I had a few bumps in the roads, as you say. Like I had a terror attack. I had a clinical death when I was 22. I find out in my cousin's wedding that I'm allergic to alcohol. Everybody was cheering and taking shots, and I took one for the first time in my life. And then I find myself in the ambulance bed. Yeah, so I realized that I overcome a lot of things. And like you said, when I saw a Napoleon Hill book for the first time, I was like, oh my God, just like you said, they give names to stuff that I do already, you know? And when I was 7 years old, my uncle came back from India with a Didi Vandana, which is like a Indian instructor for meditation. And they start teaching us meditation at home, you know, how to eat right, how to meditate. And I didn't really take it seriously at the time, but I would take times off, you know, in the middle of the day to think and to meditate. I didn't really take it seriously. And then after I had the injuries and the clinical death, and another subject that I didn't even mention, but we talked about it yesterday, I told you that my dad was sitting in prison for murder my whole life.
Yeah.
So I needed to cope with that.
That was in prison in Israel?
In Israel. And as a little kid, when you go to school and you get bullied by kids, your dad is a murderer, you know, like that. And I had all these scenarios happening into my life, and I decided I want to take some time off and change everything. When I came to America, I was nobody, I was no one. I could start from scratch, to build my personality, not as my father's daughter, not as the actress that everybody know, not as, the person, the persona that people perceived me in Israel, the perception I had in Israel. I was nothing. I had to clean Airbnb houses and work in hair salons and places, whatever jobs I could take. Sometimes I work in 3-4 jobs at a time just to support my son. And for me, it was not degrading or bad. I was actually excited for the first time in my life. I'm nobody and I don't have to, go and explain myself or explain about my family. I was completely anonymous. I would make my money and go back home. It was unique to me. And it took me years after I developed a new career and everything to, put it together and say, I have so much to say and so much to teach. That's what I want to do.
Well, that's what you need to continue doing, because it takes people like you to motivate others. I have given away probably well over 100 of Napoleon Hill's books.
Wow.
To people.
It's important. It's a life-changing. I'm sure you
One of the very first person I gave it to, and I must tell this story, was when I was in New York. I was with my friend Lou Perry, who was a casting director. He was older than I. He's the guy who discovered D. Martin, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
And my other friend, Frank Russo. And those days, there were no computers, no cell phones, none of that garbage. And actors and actresses come in and put their portfolio on a desk. Are you casting? No. And they leave. We had a ruling. The first one that saw the girl got the girl.
Wow.
And these two old guys were beating me out every time. But this one day, I leaned back on my chair, in the corner of my eye, I seen this girl walk in. I said, this one's mine.
Oh, wow.
And so she comes in, boom, we end up taking her to dinner. And she lived in Yonkers. She was a young model. She was only 19 years old.
Wow.
Doing modeling for Macy's, Saks, other stores like that there. And she wanted to become an actress. And we were dating, but nothing ever happened. The night that something was going to happen was we were having dinner at Benihana of Tokyo. Now, I was married at the time and had children. And you know how the hibachi grill. So we're sitting there, and when I paid the bill, I left my wallet open. And she's over here. When I turn my head, she's looking down, and there's a picture of my wife and my kids. And that's just anything that I thought about doing with her ended. But she was a lovely gal, and she was leaving for California. I gave her Think and Grow Rich.
Wow.
It was a couple years later, 3 years later maybe, that I was at the Scandia on Sunset Boulevard when a friend of mine came in and said that he saw so-and-so. And that she asked about me. I said, did you get her number? He said, yeah, he gave me her number. I called her. Took her to dinner on 3rd Street. And we're having dinner and talking. And she says, that book you gave me, I don't go anywhere without it. And she opened her purse and took it out. She says, I went on every audition. I went on, and no matter where I go, it was titter and tatter. But she was on a TV show making $25,000 a week, which was a lot of money back then.
Wow. Yeah.
And she became a big star.
Who is she? Can I ask?
To Think and Grow Rich.
Who is the star? I'm curious.
I never give names.
Okay, I got you. And I understand that.
Yeah.
It's what we talked about, the mentality, remember?
Yeah. So, does Think and Grow Rich? Does the mindset work? Does the motivation work? It absolutely does. But you must have a burning desire. It's got to be in your gut. So I like to talk about this subject, as you can see. I want you to tell me some about your experiences with it.
Yeah, I think in general, everybody needs somebody to reassure them that, light the spark. A lot of people have that in them, but they just don't know. A lot of elderly people that you see after 30, 40, 50, they never had one person in their life that told them that they could do something. They have the ability. They give them the push to believe in them. Everybody needs someone to believe in them. And sometimes even a little compliment or a little conversation can literally change someone's life. Because a lot of people that I meet after said, "Oh, remember that you told me that I can do this, or that I'm beautiful, or that I'm smart, or that I'm capable." It gives them hope. And I think in this world, in this life, actually, if we not giving people hope and not push other people to do good, even with words and by our action, it's gonna make us feel better. It's gonna make us big.
You're right.
That's what I think. It's important to me.
I say that begins at home. I had 3 children, and not a day goes by that I don't tell my children I love them, and I'm proud of them. And as they were growing up, I taught them that they could do anything they want.
Yeah.
Now they're all grown up. They're all very successful.
Of course, because of you.
But it will repeat that what the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve.
Of course. Everything is possible. And this is why I'm so much into meditation, because I think I'm very good with manifestation too when I meditate. Because I told you I was cleaning Airbnb houses and gave up all my alimony and my money in Israel when I had a joint bank account with my ex-husband. And I used to tell my son, just be patient, And it took me years, but then when I started buying property and doing things, my son was in shock. Like, how do you do it? I said to him, remember when I go and isolate myself and meditate? This is what's called manifestation. Anything is possible if you think about it and manifest it.
Now, that's a subject I know nothing about. Meditation.
No?
People talk to me about it. I don't understand it. And I'm somebody who never relaxes.
Okay,
I
so
don't relax at all.
do you want me to tell you about it?
You're going to have to tell me about it sometime.
Okay, so your attitude, like what you explained to me right now, it's called in the meditation world automatic pilot action. Okay, like you're working from your automatic pilot, right? Your body is taking the action, not you, because you used to, let's say, for example, you wake up in the morning, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Whatever it is you do on an automatic pilot, it's your body, the reaction of your body. Okay? When you learn to control your body through your mind at a press of a button and you not let your body guide you or lead you, it means that you're controlling your body. Now, in order to do that, you need to go really deep into meditation, train your mind or the beast of your body from the automatic pilot to actually relax naturally. See, a lot of people today in the world, they need to use like like pills, upper downers, whatever, cocaine, whatever, everybody got their own thing. But actually our body is like a pharmacy. We have everything. But as human beings, we don't get a guiding book how to use this pharmacy to our benefit. We use this pharmacy on an automatic pilot to make ourselves sick instead of making ourselves healthy. That's the right word? Healthy, yeah. And when you actually train yourself and train your brain within meditation, you can train your body to relax naturally. Okay? And when you do meditation, it's a misconception that you have to sit like that and think about nothing, which is completely impossible, especially to people like you that are a little bit more hyper. I'm like that too, by the way. And, as growing up, next to crime families, my dad was in prison. We had to go there every week. Then, I was an actress. Everything was so hectic. And, everything, it was instant gratification, automatic pilot, working from the ego, from the beast of your personality. and not from, the calm subconscious. Like I had to reprogram my subconscious to be a completely different person. And when people say, oh, I gotta change, you really gotta change in order to change your mentality, your behavior, your action, and your reaction to the everyday automatic pilot. In order to do that, you really need to learn how to meditate. Because a lot of people just meditating to tell people, oh, I've been in my yoga class or meditation class. It's not real meditation.
You know what? Someday you have to teach me what real meditation is.
You can come every Thursday, 11 o'clock in Rafi Lounge in Malibu. I do meditation class. I have people from all type of people, men and women. Like I have actors, I have lawyers, I have cleaning ladies. I have everything you can imagine in my classes. Just come and join it one time, see if you like it. I'm working on manifestation, on how to relax your body, because see, the most important thing in our life, it's our inner conversation. It's got to do with relationship, with how you act and react to people, right? How you make your decisions. Because a lot of people think if you make money and you're a millionaire, then everything's perfect in your life. But it's not true.
Well, money's not everything. And
no, I'm not talking about you.
It makes it easier, but...
Yeah. And sometimes it could be destructive.
Yeah, I see money destroy more than...
It can destroy it, exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't fix your inner conversation in relationship, it's how you react, in money, in everything, you can be a distraction to yourself. Because most people, that's why we have more followers and cattle than leaders, because majority of people destroying themselves with instant gratification. They make a little money, they want to buy a boat, they want to buy a fast car, they want to show off, they want to be nouverish with their clothing and attitude and vacation. And when you're not working and operating from your automatic pilot, it's really easy. It doesn't matter how much money you have and how much possession you have, okay? You're very good with where you are, and you're always in the middle. You're never too extremely high or too extremely low. You control the situation. You control your action and reaction. And for me, this is amazing.
Well, my dear new friend, it was awesome having you today. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the audience with before you go? And I'd like to see you again in the future. We'll do another one. And I want to see how, when you become a citizen here.
Thank you.
You said 10 days?
And maybe, I think it's 2 weeks. And maybe after your meditation class, we'll talk about how you feel.
Okay, we'll have to do. You said it's in Malibu, right?
Yes.
What
Rafi
time?
Lounge.
Huh?
11 o'clock every Thursday.
Okay.
And what I get to say to the audience is, remember, you only live life forward, but you understand them backwards. So it's very important what you do today, so you won't look back.
Repeat that. You live life forward,
but understand it backwards.
Understand it backward. Those are very profound words, folks. Listen to those words. Thank you very much, Sheena.
Thank you.